I spent 5 days in New Orleans, and let me tell you, it was one of the best trips I've ever been on. As me and my mom landed, we went to Cafe Beignet. I had to try one of their viral beignets, and I got a coffee because it was still very early in the morning. While sipping my coffee, I got to listen to live jazz music by the St. Charles Church. A crowd of people just cheering these guys on. It was absolutely amazing. Now, St. Charles Church is one of the oldest churches in the United States, but for me, I know it as Davina's Church from the originals. Got to go inside of it, and it is beautiful. The architect, the designs on the ceiling, the paintings. This church is gorgeous. Now, the reason you can't see the full outside of it is because they're actually doing renovations to it right now. As an Originals fan, you know where I am. Right outside the church, they have the plaque where Klaus and Elijah ended up dying in the TV series. So I had to clock it and take pictures of it. After that, we ended up walking to French Market, where they have a lot of tchotchkes and just overall good food. I was surprised, though. I really thought it was going to be crowded because of the things that I've seen online. I was terrified for massive lines, but we actually came at a really good time. So there literally was nobody around. Finally, it was time to check into our hotel, and yes, I did get a balcony. It was a cute little hotel. After taking a quick power nap, me and my mom headed off to dinner. This place called Mama Jean's for me to try gumbo for the very first time. Now, I am not a spicy girly. I give it like a 5 out of 10. But the chicken wings, though, and the mac and cheese, bomb. Have nothing else to say about it. They were so good. Once we wrapped up dinner, we had to hit the town just to check out the bars. As you could see, that it is really dead. Now, we got to walk in and out of bars. There was no cover charge because there was literally nobody. As you could see here, there are some few stragglers in the street, so they were really trying to get you in. Our last stop of the night was to actually go on a walking ghost tour. They tell you about the history of the town, you stop at some cemeteries, and they tell you some spooky stuff. This one, it was alright. I give it like a 7 out of 10. Morning, we went to Ruby Slipper. Now, I recommend if you want a good breakfast, you go to them. They had really good food. I had to stop at coffee. I learned that not a lot of places in New Orleans have decaf coffee, so I got very lucky to stop at the French Truck coffee spot. A nice large one for me because we are taking the trolley today. We are going to go down to Magazine Street and just check out the houses, see if there are any shops around. Well, there is shops around. Our main thing of the day was to actually go see the Coven House. Just look at this. The way that they decorate for Mardi Gras is absolutely stunning. The architecture around all of these old homes, it just breaks my heart because I wish I saw that up north more. Finally, when we arrived, this house was so massive. I was expecting to see a lot of people here, but me and my mom came right at a good time because Mardi Gras was just about to start. So that is when the people really start to pick up. The tourism starts to really go. So it was really just me and my mom the entire time going around. The tour bus actually came by while we were in front of the house, and I was hearing that apparently the owner rents out the house to movie producers so that it's able to be featured in the house. How true that is, but on our way back, we took New Orleans hop-on, hop-off bus. You do have to pay for this, but they give you a whole rundown of the history of New Orleans. They stop at historical sites. It was very easy for me and my mom to use. You can get like a 1-day pass, a 3-day pass. This bus actually took us all the way to our next stop, which was St. Louis's cemetery. I was so excited about this cemetery tour, getting to see Nicolas's cage, potential grave. If you don't know the history about Nicolas's cage, I really suggest that you look it up because it's actually fascinating on how New Orleans really doesn't like him. Me, it was incredible to learn about the history and how the graves are taken care of and how much the Catholic Church really wants your money. Did the tour at Marie Laveau's grave, which I actually forgot to record. By the end of this, we were exhausted. We ended up just grabbing some barbecue at this place called Blue Oak Barbecue, which is actually pretty good. But we needed to fuel up because the last place that we went to tonight was the Carousel Bar. Oh my God, this was gorgeous. I actually didn't expect it to really move. They had a live piano player, and overall, I just had a really good time. After a couple drinks, we ended up at Cafe Du Monde again to get some beignets to go, because, you know, why not? When you're drunk and you're hungry, let's grab some beignets. Day 3, we started off at an early adventure. We ended up going to Pirate King Coffee, which was a really cute coffee place, but don't be fooled. They do not sell decaf coffee, so I didn't get anything in here. I just wanted to roam around. Today, we were hitting a bunch of shops. The first place was the perfume place called Jovier Perfume. I don't know. I'm going to put it right here. You can actually mix perfumes together and get the signature scent that you would like. This was overall a very good experience. The ladies were so nice and taking care of me and my mom, but I ended up going with Vervain because, you know, I'm a Vampires Originals kind of fan. My mom ended up getting a darker scent. Now, my mom wanted nothing to do with this, but this is an old historical pharmacy, and it was showing you how everything back in the day was all herbs and naturally grown things. Like, it was insane to me that, oh, you have a headache, you're gonna take this. How most of them mixed it in with their teas. How they injected vaccines back then, and what did prescriptions look like back then. Overall, it was a very interesting experience. So you're into pharmaceutical stuff, definitely check this out. Me and my mom ended up heading back to the hotel before one more thing we were supposed to do today, which was a gator tour, which I was so excited. Well, it's really called a swamp tour. Never thought me and my mom would end up on a swamp together, and we got muddy. And yes, we saw some gators. This guy was actually called Psycho because he wants nothing to do with anybody. They throw marshmallows at him. He does not come our way. But it is so interesting to see how people live without internet, without just anything still, and it shows you how this place still hasn't really recovered since Hurricane Katrina. It really opens up your eyes to see how other states deal with stuff like this. Ended the night at a dinner with Muriel's in the seance room. If you don't know what Muriel's is, they set up a table for the previous owner every single night with a glass of wine and some bread. You can look up the whole history behind it, but the food was really good. What you see me in right now is actually the seance room, where you can grab a couple drinks and just sit and relax. Ending the night with just one more drink, we ended up at the Vampire Cafe and got some blood bags before heading next door to the Vampire Boutique and getting a couple creepy little things to take home with me. And our last day here, we ended up renting some bikes because, we did a lot of walking. We were just both exhausted. It was just the day where we were going to roam around and get some of the last places I wanted to see done. I really wanted to get a lot of souvenirs to bring back home for my friends and family, and just for myself, to be honest, as well. So we ended up at this little place called Flirty Girl, which my cousin told me about. It has a bunch of cute stuff that's New Orleans themed that you could bring home. We ended up riding by St. Charles again and saw the same band that was playing jazz before my first day here, and it keeps getting better and better. We just went into so many boutiques. Any place that I saw on the side of the road, I was like, yeah, we're going there. That looks cool. This specific place was a taxidermy place. The last couple stops are the Originals themed. I ended up seeing the Klaus Michelson house, and this part was actually the inside of the Michelson's house, where they used to throw like massive parties and stuff. I had to get these shots before I ended up leaving New Orleans because, love the Vampire Diaries and the Originals. I didn't want to get everyone just, like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. I wanted to get them like good things. Disco Warehouse is a great place if you like little cute artistic trinkets. Last place we ended up at was Parkway for some po' boys. Now, these are basically really good sandwiches. Like, I have to give it to New Orleans. This was probably one of the best sandwiches I've ever tasted. But overall, this trip was an unforgettable trip. We did so much, and it really wasn't a lot of relaxing, but I'm so thankful that I got to see all this culture and learn so much more about the history of New Orleans.